Well, hello and welcome to Bethel Online, our daily hope devotionals. Glad that you tuned in today. I'm Pastor Frank. All this week, our daily devos are based on from last Sunday's teaching, and we're continuing in the teaching series on Sunday, Values That Build Vision. And we're looking at five values that will help us view life from God's perspective. They're really core values. They kind of inform and impact everything else in our lives. And they're easy to remember because we put them in an acronym, JESUS. Jesus, so pretty easy to remember. Jesus at the center. Every person counts. And then last Sunday, we looked at the third one, the first S in Jesus, spread truth in love. Spread truth in love. And in the teaching, I made the statement that really the new truth in our culture today is emotion. It's emotion. I mean, if I feel it, it's true. Now, this is a really unhealthy way to live if you think about it. It's a dangerous way to live. I mean, if I acted on everything I ever felt in life, I would be in a lot of trouble, right? I mean, I'd probably either be in jail or dead if I acted on everything, right, that I actually felt in the moment in my life. Why? Well, because there are days when my emotions, they're real, but they're just not reliable. They're not reliable. Last Sunday's teaching, we really drilled down on Jesus's claim that he is truth. I mean, he said, I'm the way, right? I'm the life. I'm the truth. I mean, he said that. But in John chapter 8, he made a stunning statement. John chapter 8, verses 31 and 32 and then verse 36. This is what he said. To the Jews who had believed in him, Jesus said, if you hold to my teachings, you abide in my teachings, you are really my disciples. Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Then you skip down to verse 36, just a few verses later, and he says, so if the Son sets you free, speaking of himself, you are free indeed. Well, those are pretty audacious statements. Truth is a person. That's what Jesus says. I am that person. And freedom comes as a result of knowing and living out my truth. Truth is first a person before its principles or anything else. And in our culture, in a culture, I should say, where truth is kind of what you want it to be, which is really confusing because that makes truth a moving target. It keeps changing all the time. You can't find reliable truth because it's always changing. Where Jesus comes along and he offers something that is so much greater and it is so much more reliable. He says you can actually know truth and we can actually live it out in loving ways. And I encouraged everyone last Sunday to pick up a couple of books. They're both very important. One is an absolute must, Beyond Belief to Conviction by Josh McDowell and Bob Hosteltler. Beyond Belief to Conviction. Every Christian home should have it. It's written to college students so that they know what they believe and they can defend what they believe when they go off to secular universities. It's well done. But Leslie Newbigin's book is another classic, a little bit harder to read, but it is the classic, The Gospel in a Pluralist Society. And these are great books when it comes to understanding absolute truth and how the gospel actually shines in a society where relativity is embraced, where nothing stays the same, okay? And Newbigin makes the case that one of the most potent ways the truth of Jesus challenges the assumptions of society, particularly the assumption that my truth is true for me. One of the great ways that the gospel challenges society is it happens through people actually living out the truth in love. It's being demonstrated in the lives of other people. He said, everything else we do is secondary, I quote, that they have power to accomplish their purpose. Everything else, when it comes to trying to reach people or what have you, they only accomplish their purpose as they are rooted in and they lead back to a believing community. In other words, those things are being lived out in a faith community. In other words, the truth of the gospel is most influential when it's incarnational, when we take it into our lives, digest it, and begin to live it out, when it's seen in a community of people following Jesus. One of the points I made last Sunday is we need to behave like truth is real. Truth is real. The greatest enemy of spreading truth in love, I made the statement, it's not the devil, it's not corrupt politicians, none of those things. The greatest enemy to spreading truth in love is an unexamined life. An unexamined life. It always leads to compromise, and then it always leads to excuses of why I'm not doing what I know I should do. And I just leave you today. I unpacked 3 helpful actions. I'll just leave them with you today because they're based out of the letter of Ephesians and chapter 4. You see all 3 of these in Ephesians 4. First of all, be truthful with yourself. Just be honest about what's going on in your own life. Be willing to change. Man, Jesus will move heaven and earth to help you change if you're willing. And 3, be with Jesus every day. Be with him every day, because we can't do this without him. I want to thank you today for tuning into Bethel Online and our daily